Hey, how's it going? I'm sorry. I know you're gonna get to the introductions, but I got to say this pretty quick. Um, I got this thing. It's insecurity I've had. Um, in the past, I've had some pretty bad church hurt and stuff like that, and I've had really bad. I've had not. It wasn't like extremely bad, but like somewhat bad. Some negative experiences involving like white folks and stuff like that. Um, and I just I just wonder if that's a normal thing, uh, that I feel a little weird going to this area, this place, and it's kind of predominantly white. I mean, they haven't really given me like a direct reason to be like uneasy and stuff like that, but I sometimes feel kind of weird about that. So I just kind of curious about your opinion about that. Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's no problem, no problem. All right, tell me more about this idea. Like, um, is it like that political stuff? Like you know, tell me more about it. Wait, what do you mean? Do you mean like the stuff in the past or like the stuff right now? Because I told you that they haven't given me any reason. But oh, my bad. Made a confusion. Oh no, you good, man. You good. I mean, like the last incident that happened that made you feel uneasy about the current situation. Because as we understand it, these things don't happen in a vacuum. When people have these weird hesitations and stuff like that, it's probably due to prior experiences. Um, and trauma, and like with people who've been assaulted, they tend to have reactions, let's say, to people who resemble their attacker or their abuser. So tell me more about the times where this person or these group of people have given you negative experiences. I remember at this church, I was it's like my mid 20s, and then most of the people were super early, late teens, early 20s and stuff like that, and I just felt like a sore stuck out like a sore thumb, man. And so I was just like, all right, it's awkward. I'm clearly different looking. I have a different age. I have a different perspective. But since we're all Christian, it should be fine. It should be accepted and all that stuff. I started getting anxiety. We were chatting on this group thing, and I just started noticing that certain people were getting more attention than I was. So I had a moment, and I don't know how to describe it. I just were I think I just was like, man, like why are they? It's like they're picking and choosing who they want to talk to. And I'm like, why are they acting like this? And so I just thought to myself, okay, before I do something, say something that just you know just totally overblown. I'll talk to the authority, you know, and I did, and they didn't give me a compelling or um, honest answer. They just didn't give me a response that was like, okay, I get it, it makes sense. And that was something I was looking for. I just wish I would have got that because I expected it. I believed it. I believed that in this group that Christians were supposed to love each other no matter what, and they're supposed to care about each other unless they were in sin and stuff like that. And I wasn't in sin. I was just trying to be social, and people just were so particular. And I don't know. I was told like, yo, I was entitled to a response. Was I? And it was a question, but I was just thinking to myself like, what? Huh? Entitled to a response. Let's see. Okay. I can kind of see from his perspective. I can kind of see it from your perspective. Um, People can be very busy. They won't always have time to respond, and as we understand, um, people do have the groups that they feel more comfortable around, and it's not your fault. It's just how people are. In a Christian community, I know it has certain expectations and a certain reputation for certain things. So I understand that in these communities, it's hard to get much understanding. So I just want to help you understand, not just that I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I think you had a need, and that need was not satisfied, and that they did not know how to satisfy that need. Um, and it's okay. Some these people are human still. They're human too. Maybe in your opinion, the Christians, they have to abide by a standard, but as we understand, I mean, you read the scriptures, you know, perfection and really getting it right. And like Paul said, I do my body does what it wants to do, but I don't want to do it. I forget what the actual term says, but it says, like, I'm at war with myself. I love God's law so much, but I'm still at war with my body. I'm still at war with my flesh. So people deal with that stuff all the time. You need it. I think you need it. Uh, some connection, emotional connection, some communication, some social connection, and they couldn't give it to you for one reason or another. And I think that's okay to acknowledge. It's okay to say, hey, I needed this. I need this so bad. Um, and perhaps they could have given you like a community that was in your, people group, you maybe, and yeah, and maybe you could just try to find out yourself if that's not in this church, and if they just can't supply the need, find a place and people who can. I see. Yeah, I guess you're right. It just hurt me a lot, man, because I just had these high expectations, and I really really thought that even the authority figure there, just I thought they were gonna just you know say you love Jesus, but you don't in that time where I needed it. I felt like they didn't give they just weren't like Jesus. And maybe I'm just being selfish about it. Maybe I was just acting out of some sort of deep-seated trauma or something like that. Deep-seated trauma. Maybe, you know. But we will only get there with time as we slowly unlock and unravel um, why you might have had a reaction, and it could have been a triggered reaction. That's what it appears to be. Um, Maybe the sense that you weren't getting any attention or any communication from this group that you had these expectations for. Uh, Maybe it could have been something connected to your past. That you had high expectations for people just in general. It could not have been Christianity. It could have just been in general that people have let you down, and you've had expectations. Could have been friends. Could have been family. You know. You know because unfortunately, sometimes your parents let you down, sometimes your friends let you down, sometimes people, regular people and strangers, they let you down sometimes. Like for instance, the bystander effect. There's this expectation that somebody's going to help if they seen there was an incident involving a person and they were assaulted live in daylight, and there were people there, and they just stood. And it's the bystander effect. People have this expectation, an assumption that somebody's going to do something, somebody's eventually going to do something, and they don't act. So people are not always who they should be, and people fail. But this might be something that is deep rooted in your history, in your childhood, that definitely goes to show, like, you have high expectations for people, and it could be from maybe your parents, maybe like the core model of the relationships you have, these are your parents. Maybe you had high expectations for them, and maybe in some way they didn't meet those expectations, and so it carried in your subconscious to be fixed by other people, and it just kept not being fixed by other people. But um, we're gonna let's further explore that in time. Um, I think all the time's almost up, but yeah, in time we're gonna explore those places as to why you feel that way, and why you have this sense that uh, people will need to be a certain way and for you to feel accepted, or people behave a certain way for you to feel accepted. Yeah, okay, okay. I know. Okay, okay, I gotcha. Um, I, I was wondering, do you have any like advice for that? Just something to help me get through the day, because I know, I don't know, I really deal with that. Really, get bothered. Um, Maybe placing expectations and stuff like that on people. Uh, Maybe that dude was right. Um, but I still struggle with thinking. You know, I feel like I have, but I keep bringing it up. So apparently, this stuff still matters to me. You know, I just you're curious if you're curious if this thing is gonna if these expectations are gonna still kind of eat you alive. If they're still gonna bleed over to other situations and scenarios, right? Yeah, yeah. It's still troubling me. So I don't know. I mean, I I would like some advice regarding that. Hmm. I think it would be good to be mindful of people. It's okay to have standards, have desires, have expectations, especially in religion. There's expectations in religion, organized religion, um, and I think it might be a healthy thing to do, to have expectations. Uh, which is kind of like playing football. There are rules to the game, and people are not perfect at following those rules, but they follow it nonetheless. And it would be good to just find a community that is up to par with your expectations, and also to learn how to manage those expectations for them to be realistic, because sometimes we can have unrealistic expectations, and sometimes um, those expectations can do more harm than good. It's sometimes good to have standards, but if your standards are unreasonable and they are like the person has to be Jesus, the people have to be like Jesus, the people have to be perfect, have to be an alien almost to get your favor, you're just gonna push more people away than accept them. Okay, I guess that makes sense. All right. All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll see you soon. All right. Yep. Thanks. Bye.